Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Miles Cunningham. Shout out to Lucario. Shout out to all the supporters. Shout out to everybody on the Bad Boy membership. Everybody checking out the Bad Boy membership programs and the Game Kings documentary. You feel me? Um, Shout out to everybody that donates on the live streams, that calls in, that everybody that's on the Bad Boy show, everybody on the Confidence show on Patreon. Really appreciate you guys. You guys keep the game going. Wait, you guys keep the show going so we could keep the game flowing, because there's a young man that's just hitting puberty that needs to hear this shit. You feel me? So what I want to talk about today real quick is and I don't really fuck with celebrity shit, but it pertains to the game. You know what I'm saying? Like it has a lot of game value in it. Yeah, and what I'm talking about is the whole Jeannie Mai submitting, talking about wanting to submit to Jeezy, right? And she's gotten a lot of backlash from all of these, feminist women. She even got backlash on the show, on the real show, while she was saying it. And it was like, oh, that shit don't work for me, and blah, blah. The bitches like Lonnie Love, oh, that shit don't work for me, and we see that shit don't work for you. That's why you're not married, and you. Anyway, I don't even want to get into all that shit. But what I want to talk about is, a lot of people are like thinking that shit is all good with Jeannie Mai, and she wants to submit, and I'm saying this. Remember I told you guys that language exposes a lot about you and about what your true situation is, what your true agenda is, what your true intentions are. You understand? In the way that you communicate. Now, what I heard this lady say was, I want to submit to my man. Do you understand? That's what I heard her say. The operative word to me was want. And in my opinion, it's like this. If I'm fucking with you and if I'm engaged to you, or you calling yourself my girl or my woman, or if I'm calling you my girl or my woman, submission has to already be, like, you have to have already submitted. You understand? To me, Jeannie Mai should have been on the show saying, I have submitted to Jeezy. I have submitted to my man. That's why I'm engaged and we're going to get married. That's what she should have been saying. But you have to watch the language of these females, man. You have to watch what they're not saying. You understand? You have to read between the lines sometimes and realize, shout out to Donovan Sharp, where he talks about, womanese. He has a whole series of like breaking down female language and, how they express themselves. So shout out to him. And go check that out too. But I'm just saying in general, like, you listen to a person's language, listen to the words that they use. She's not saying that she submitted yet. And to me, you gotta submit to even be called my girl, much less me in being engaged to you and all of that other shit and promising to marry you and all that shit. What? Like, listen, man, my leadership as a man is extra valuable to any female. You understand what I'm saying? So, and a lot of these chicks, what they have is they have these conditions and contingencies where it's like, I'll submit and I'll be a good woman, but you have to marry me first. Or I'll submit and I'll be a good woman, but you got to pay my rent. Or I'll submit and I'll be this, but you gotta eat my pussy or whatever. They have these conditions and shit. And it's like this. It's like a woman has to be willing to submit. A woman has to be willing to be vulnerable. You understand? Her fears her desire to want to be your woman have to outweigh her fears. Shout out to Lucario, because he talked about that on a live stream the other day, talking about how, her desire has to outweigh her fears. You understand? So your desire to want to submit to me, your desire to want to submit to my leadership and understand the value of my leadership and my game and my manhood and what that means to you as a woman, that shit should be, you should come to me with that. You should have that in your mind. Once we've been once we've been rocking for a few months and shit, you should see that shit. You see what I'm saying? You should see it. You should have an idea of, okay, all right, this guy, I want to submit to him. I want to be with him. I want him to be my leader. I want him to give me that game. I want him to bring his value into my life. and make me more valuable because I'm with him. You see what I'm saying? Those things have to be embedded. Those things have to be a part of her demeanor before you even promise her a ring or anything. You see what I'm saying? And that's the part that I think a lot of people are missing. And shout out to everybody that did videos on it. That's even that brought it to my attention. Myron and Fresh Prince, CEO of Fresh Fit. They did a good podcast on it where they broke everything down. Kevin Samuels did a podcast on it and broke a lot of shit down. And O'Shea Duke Jackson did a podcast on it, or a YouTube video on it, and broke a lot of shit down. So shout out to them, and I appreciate watching their videos. But after viewing all of that stuff, I came to the conclusion that you got to listen to her language. Like, nothing's really happened yet. Nothing has really happened yet, and Jeezy is actually in a dangerous fucking position because he's engaged this woman, promised to marry her, and she hasn't actually submitted. According to her language, she has not actually submitted. Do you understand? She's still waiting for marriage to submit. And to me, that in itself is an act of defiance. That is not an act of submission or an act of a woman who actually wants to submit. So all I'm saying is watch the language, and I think Jeezy needs to be very fucking careful. You see what I'm saying? He needs to be careful. He needs to understand what he's actually dealing with. Now, it's cool that she wants to submit, but my question is, how come, what do you mean you want to submit? Why haven't you submitted yet? That's my question. Why haven't you submitted? It's known throughout the land that he's your man, right? So you should have already submitted. And if Jeezy was on his real game, he would have made sure that's in the pocket. He would have made sure that's already done, like that her submission is a given. You see what I'm saying? Again, shout out to Myron and Fresh Prince CEO. They talked about how Jeezy's worth 10 million and Jeannie Mai is only worth 1. You see what I'm saying? I mean, just off of that, the bitch need to be submitting. But that's a whole nother thing. But I'm just saying, man, his value is apparent. His value is there. And when she speaks of him, she speaks in admiration. She speaks in love. She speaks in a positive way. She speaks as if she value his presence in her life. And by the way, like, she's cute and all that, but she's 41. She's 41. I don't even know if she could give Jeezy children. I mean, I don't know if they want to do that, but your value as a woman goes down if you can't have kids. And that's the truth. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think she should be standing on a conditional submission. I think she should be submitting all the way already. You understand? But a lot of these chicks in the Western world, they feel like there's these conditions and contingencies where it's like, yeah, I want to submit, but only if you marry me. And you can't, a man of value, you can't give a true man of value an ultimatum. Ultimatum to any man of value, an ultimatum is disrespectful coming from a woman. You understand what I'm saying? To any man of value, an ultimatum is disrespectful coming from a woman. So that's what I heard on the show when she said it. Everybody else heard whatever they heard. I heard an ultimatum. I heard a conditional. I heard a woman low-key being disrespectful. You understand what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is be careful, watch the language, and I hope Jeezy is being careful with his current situation. You know what I'm saying? Thank goodness she's a halfway decent and good looking chick in her 40s and whatever. So, I hope all the best for them. I do hope all the best for them. But what I'm saying is I see certain things that need to be addressed before they actually get married. And if I was Jeezy, I'd be like, what the fuck you mean you want to submit? Like, when she come home after, if I saw the show or some shit like that, or whatever, and next time I see her in the crib, I'm like, yo, let's talk. Let's talk. What's with this? You want to submit? You should have already submitted, bitch. What are you talking about? I'm your fucking man. Like, I'm your leader. Like, you understand what I'm saying? What do you mean you want to submit? You think this is conditional? I would have that conversation with her. Maybe not like that. Maybe it'll be a little bit more civilized and all that. But but you get the point I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. We would have to have a conversation, and we'd have to figure out the whole you want to submit. Like, let's be clear. Like, there's no conditions on this. If you're not willing to be vulnerable as my woman, then you're not willing to be my woman. Vulnerability comes with any relationship. You understand? A man becomes vulnerable as well. You understand? Because there's certain things he has to put certain levels of trust in the hands of his female as well. You understand what I'm saying? You know, cause they live in California. As soon as they get married, prenups don't even help in California. So they get married, then Jeannie Mai takes half his money. So now Jeannie Mai is 6 million in, and Jeezy's down to 5 after the divorce. So whatever, man. All I'm saying is a lot of shit. Pay attention to the language. Don't let anything fool you into thinking that these chicks is all the way with it when they're truly not. You understand? Pay attention, be aware, and don't just be. I hope Jeezy's not just on some happy shit like, oh yeah, I got me a fine woman and we about to get married and it's all good. No, it's not all good. You need to have a conversation with your bitch, bruh. Anyway, it's your boy Miles Cunningham. Check the links to go get your t-shirts. Get on that bad boy membership and check out the Game Kings documentary right now today. It is required viewing for all men. All right. So I hope you guys are having a great day. It's your boy Miles Cunningham. Truth is inside you. Peace.